Sundays, and then I said, man, I started hearing these melodies in the air. I said, man, who's it coming from? Let me go check this cat out, because I said, man, this cat know what he's doing. He wasn't no flake. So I went up there, man. I think I said something to you like, no, I asked you, hey, man, you need a bass player? And I forgot what you said after that, but anyway, I asked you your name.
Right.
You said Kaloma. I said, wait a minute, Kaloma. I said, that rung a bell. See, if somebody good, I'm going to remember. If you ain't about nothing, I don't remember. I said, Kaloma. I said, you not the same Kaloma, man. You back here in 1982, 83 playing in Hollywood. You said, yeah. And you had these dreads now. I said, because you had a fro back then. Right. I said, no, man, I couldn't believe that. You know, after all these years, I ran to you. Because I wondered through the years, what happened to the old dog.
I was saying, I wonder what happened to you, man.
And then I run into you. I said, man, this is cosmic.
It is, you know, cause and you know what?
And you don't look, and you haven't really changed. You don't look like you aged or something. I said, this brother must be doing something right, eating right, because most of the cats I have seen from back then, man, they all gray and everything, and look like they broken down. They didn't take care of themselves, man.
Man, the music took them, you know, God and the music, you know.
Right, right.
Because I work for her. That's what I work for. Who you work for?
Right.
I work for myself.
Cool, you know? Cool, right.
But, you know, man, it was a strange day, because that time you came, I actually was projecting out to see. I said, I wonder what am I fishing? It's like fishing.
Right.
I was throwing shit out there to see who would actually come to hear this. Seriously, that was my I was
Is that
projecting.
right?
Usually I don't play that deep into the crowd.
Right, yeah.
You know, I just kind of play right in the area.
Exactly right.
I was projecting way, you know.
Right.
I was fishing that day.
That's why I say it was cosmic.
It was
I
cosmic.
said, man, after all these years.
Yeah. I felt as though somebody, you know, but every time I play now, man, it's important. You know, I feel as though
it's meaningful.
It means something.
So you don't play just to be playing.
No.
Okay.
When I start playing, the reality of the importance of it has not trying to be heavy or deep enough, but just the importance of the music. I'm just conscious of it. Right. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it's my constant interaction with people. And then their response to this music that's going on right now has brought me to another conscious level.
Okay.
And I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard, 2:30 in the morning. Black Lincoln Escalade going down the street playing bebop. Right in the middle of all that madness. Right. It cut through the air, man. It was like Moses spreading the waves. You know, pay attention. You know?
Right,
that's how potent that music was.
I hear you.
As potent it was. Me and a couple of the cats that worked the late shift out there, you know, the bouncers and all. Everybody was standing, so we all stopped and acknowledged that. Say, boom. And actually, from that moment, it gave me a more meaning of how my sound was being perceived in the area. Right, and the feeling. Because that's the first time I was exposed to the kind of the same thing in an environment. Right. You know, that I was putting, when you're playing, you're working. You can't hear it. True. You hear something, but you ain't hearing what, you know, the audience. Exactly. You know, the audience is, you know, so it's been, you know, a meaningful life, man, with this music. Well,
so what's some of your current projects at the moment?
Dude. It's amazing. I'm playing with this group now. We call ourselves Still Spectrum.
Still Spectrum.
Yeah, I still go as Kaloma, right? Some man, but Kaloma, Still Spectrum, or Still Spectrum. But there's some young cats, some young Spanish dudes up there in Oxnard, California. Okay. And they got a hold of a couple of CDs of my sound, and they invited me up to do a couple of sessions, man. And we just kind of, you know, it's a strange thing. These cats had never even performed before. They had instruments and stuff, right? You know, and it's just clicking. You know, sometimes I got
that spiritual connection.
Yeah,
man.
Got the blueprint. You
exactly
know what I mean?
right. So, you know how to put the cast together, man.
Right. I try a lot of stuff. Some of it work, most of it don't. But I know I've been around long enough to know when it's happening to get in the flow and work with it. You know, when it's working with me, you know.
So how many piece band is that?
It's
Spectrum.
A 5-piece band, man.
Yeah, and what type of stuff they doing?
We're doing like a fusion, R&B, like R&B fusion type thing. Like it's kind of my sound, and there's and the swing. There's a swing.
Swing to it too, huh?
Yeah. What's so unusual about the cats is like they were all DJs, pretty much making loops, not really musicians.
Okay.
So I actually did the first gig with them 2 weeks ago, their first performance. And man, they came through.
Was that in here in Hollywood or what?
No, that's a little bit above Ventura County, Oxnard, California.
Oh, Oxnard. Okay, all right. I've been out there before. What was the response on the gig from the audience? How was it?
Oh, great.
Great, huh?
Yeah, they surprised me.
Okay, all right.
The whole crowd was Spanish, man. And you hear my sound. My sound is like a... And I was so amazed at how, I guess they're Americans too, right?
Right.
And they so into the sound. Yeah, young cats too. So I was it's encouraging.
So would you say music transcends all boundaries?
All boundaries.
Race and all that other.
All boundaries.
Okay, all right.
Even re-educate me. You know what I mean? Because after years, we get like a little jaded in some areas too.
Yeah, true.
And you got to get opened up.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, you
right.
got to get opened up, man. Sure, man. I even opened up my heart. I got one cat doing some hip hop with me.
Is that right?
He done a little vocal thing with me, man. You can't ignore it after all the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to take everything, get the good out of it.
No. Okay, you say hip hop. What do you believe? Right. Okay. What do you believe hip hop actually started from?
I mean, hip hop is like.
Do you think it came from rappers, or did it come from jazz or rock, or what?
Man, that's from the James Brown, man. It's like James Brown, and hip hop is pretty much an industrial name, I think. And what it describes to me, in my mind, is like the defunk. It's kind of defunked the music, actually, because it became a machine sound.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Instead of where the funk was like this here, they made it kind of a little bit simpler and made it like a little bit easier. Okay. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things about it I ain't even willing to discuss on
because what I understand, as far as the beats concerned, a lot of that stuff came from people like Miles Davis. Those rhythms, those hip hop drum styles. And
what Miles did, man, Miles was an innovator. I won't say he was a creator. He was more like an innovator, man. Like I was in Japan when Miles came out with some of his stuff. Like what was that with the organ sound, with the acid rock, acid jazz.
Right, yeah. Because I think some of his influence. Him and Jimi Hendrix was hanging around for a while, and him and Sly Stone.
Right.
He started picking up that because he said jazz it wasn't lucrative enough. He wasn't making no money because everything that went commercial.
Right.
So he started confusing that right.
Actually, Bitches Brew. I think the original concept of that when it came out, that was supposed to be Hendrix playing on it.
Is that right?
Yeah, Hendrix and Miles was the original.
Now I remember when that came out. I think it was around 71, 72.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I said, man, this cat's he's out there, man. I mean, I listen to a lot of jazz artists, but I said this is different. That's innovation. I mean, his stuff. I mean, it will take the listener somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to call it the Twilight Zone, man, you can call it that. But it took me somewhere. It was different from. That's why I say Miles was one of my favorite because he was set. I would set him apart from a lot of other jazz artists. Not to say he was so much better than anybody else, but he expressed himself.
Yeah, he's an artist,
right? He's an artist. That's different.
He's an artist in the sense of, like you said, innovate like a painter.
Right.
You know what I mean? He said,
exactly.
I don't want to use that kind of paint.
Okay.
Let me use some of that.
Now that you said that,
mix it up.
Now that you put it that way. He reminds me. Are you hip to Salvador Dali? He does all this weird art, man. I mean, like when you look at it, it looks real spacey. Look like you might be in the outer limits of something like that.
If I seen it, I'm probably familiar with it.
Right. Well, that's how Miles reminded me of, man. Okay. When you said artist,
right.
that. Yeah, because I mean, he just did a whole different thing, man. You couldn't put him in no class, no particular genre.
He brought this element to the music. Miles, like Hendrix, I heard didn't read and write and shit like that.
Right, exactly.
All right, but Miles, by him being such an academically valid dude,
right,
stepping off into something to say boom, 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 it was cool.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the what do you call the artists, man? The kind of like my pop, for instance. My pop would never play an electric bass.
Okay.
He's an upright bass player.
Oh, your father was upright bass. Is that right?
Yeah, he played Fender. Upright. He wouldn't play a Fender.
Okay.
He wouldn't touch a Fender.
Pure traditionalist.
Right. Pure traditionalist, So Miles, that's where he stepped away from the traditionalist and helped open up, make it a little softer. for those who want to, you know, not be that.